Welcome back to Weekend Prime. Now, what exactly is going on at the twin St. Mary's Mission Hospitals in Nairobi and Elementaita? In a long-running court battle, 3 nuns won a case to take over the Mission Hospital from a Catholic priest who's been running them for close to 17 years. Tonight, KTN News Crime and Investigations Department blows the cover on what, at the face of it, appears as a church mission to take over the hospitals, but under it is a scheme to transfer donor property into the hands of private individuals hiding under the church. Here now is the lead with Dennis Onsarigo.
This is a story that dates back a decade, involves billions of shillings at stake, a community on the edge, and one that has exposed an ugly side of one of the largest Christian movements in the world, the Catholic Church. The players at the center of what has now turned out into a courtroom drama, underhand dealings, and power play. Men and women of the cloth. Back in 1998, an idea to build a mission hospital was floated in a move that will have seen low-income earners ease the burden of high cost of medical care. Assumption Sisters of Nairobi and the Catholic priest Dr. Bill Frieda allegedly sat and agreed to source for funds for the construction of St. Mary's Mission Hospital in Lang'ata. Father William Charles Frieda, or Bill, as is fondly referred to, says the new mission hospital was based on a new model, a departure from the norm.
Giving people ownership of their labor. And the way you do that is you bring in carefully selected, bright young Kenyans. You give them managerial ownership of their place of work. For example, doctor in charge. Under an older system, or perhaps other systems, the doctor in charge sits in an office all day. What a waste of your medical education. I believe we lead from the front. The doctor in charge of St. Mary's hospitals should be the first one to arrive in the morning, to make rounds, to be touching people, to be setting that example. Yeah. So the same across the board. So the idea was to create a Kenyan Christian community focused on medical ministry in service to lower income Kenyans.
But the first step was to buy land on which the envisaged hospital was to stand. The Catholic priest says he was the man who sourced for the land, personally paid and supervised the construction works. In court documents, the land cost 18 million shillings and its current value now stands at 2 billion shillings. By May the year 2000, St. Mary's Mission Hospital opened its doors to hundreds of residents of Nairobi County.
So 1998 ulikuwa Lang'ata?
Yes.
A retired police officer who at the time was Lang'ata Police Station boss was among the first clients of the state-of-the-art hospital.
Kwa sababu father alikuja siku moja, kaniambia anajenga facility ya hospitali hapo. Na angetaka security kwa site. Nika take action. Na ndio nilikutana na father hapo. Na baadaye kidogo 202 ndio I became a diabetic. Nilipatwa na sukari na nikaanza kuenda clinic hapo hospitali. Kwa hivyo pia niliendelea kujuana na father hapo akijenga hiyo hospitali. Hadi akaniambia kwamba amejenga hiyo hospitali isaidie watu ya Kibera, badala waende Kenyatta wao wanavuka hapo kuja hospitali ya St. Mary.
Years later, with the hospital now up and running, another donor, Joseph Ngera, told the lead he wanted a similar facility set up in Elementaita.
We waited to see Father Frieda Bill, who looked at us from a distance and refused totally to come and see us. And that is why I say I actually looked for him, he did not look for me. Another 5 trips I made my journey to the same hospital, trying to see him. And not everybody is bad. I must say it was a member of Assumption Sisters of Nairobi who came around, and I don't disclose her name because I promised never to. But she came to me and told me, look, this priest will not see you, will definitely not see you, because he thinks that you are a conman. But what I would advise you to do is to ring his lawyer, talk to him, and if he is the only one who can convince him that you are not a conman. So I came back here, and Lang, Advocate Jero, then his advocate. Currently, he is the chairman of IPOA in Kenya. Advocate Jero did not even talk to me for a minute. It was actually less. Then he promised to ring me back maybe after an hour. You know what? After a few minutes, he rang back and told me he has already got an appointment for me on the following Sunday. He went ahead and introduced me to Father Frieda Bill. Funny enough, he had all the time for me, the whole day. In fact, we had lunch together there. He took me around the hospital. Although I had gone to spy on it many times to see how he worked and how many patients visited the hospital. So I was convinced that this is the right person to get.
Having acquired the land, Father Bill told the lead, he once again embarked on donor sourcing. By 2007, St. Mary's Mission Hospital was up and running, the numbers in the facility growing by the day.
This hospital has really grown in leaps and bounds. On average per day, we will see between 400 to 500 patients in outpatient department. On average per month, we would operate anywhere between 200 to 300 major surgeries. I'm talking of major surgeries. These are surgeries that require a patient to be hospitalized for up to a week plus. We do minor procedures that exceed 500 in a month. And therefore, this place is fast becoming a referral hospital.
Little was known about the simmering differences between Father William Charles Frieda and the Assumption Sisters of Nairobi. 2009, the sisters set up a trust fund which will have seen the twin St. Mary's Mission Hospitals transferred from St. Mary's Mission Hospital Company, where interestingly, Sister Marie Teresiga Shambi, Sister Teresia Ndeto, and Sister Grazia Muli were directors. This was to see the twin hospitals transferred to a new identity, Regina Pacis University. The three sisters, one now deceased, are the same ones that Father Bill Frieda says he approached to have the two mission hospitals registered under their care until he acquired a company of his own. The trust deed does not mention the name or role of Father Bill Frieda, whom the sisters initially referred to as a co-founder of the hospitals, but later termed him as a mere employee. The trust deed shows other trustees, among them Jacob Kaimenyi, Joseph Ngera, the man who donated his land for the construction of St. Mary's Mission Hospital in Elementaita, and the current head of the Catholic Church in Kenya, Cardinal John Jue. But this changes when the Ministry of Lands issues the Assumption Sisters of Nairobi a certificate of incorporation dated March 25th, the year 2010. The trustees are now identified not by their titles, by their names, save for Cardinal John Jue. The Cardinal is listed as trustee number 8 on the document that will later generate debate in High Court in Nakuru. They plan to transfer St. Mary's Mission Hospitals and any other property in the hands of the sisters to a new identity, Regina Pass's University, so the Catholic priest moved to court.
The Catholic Church would never disrespect the will of a donor. No, the Catholic Church functions on integrity, and the will of the donors must always be respected. So the fact that this small cartel was actually arguing and trying to grab from the donor when he's saying no, 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 that's not the Catholic Church. That's individuals acting for their own capacity.
But it turned into a church matter. Cardinal John Jue wrote to the regional superior of Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers, informing them the church was in the process of setting up a team to handle the standoff between the sisters and the priest. The cardinal asking the superior general to instruct the priest to withdraw the case from court. In a letter from Maryknoll Fathers and Brothers to the Catholic priest, the association says it doesn't have any agreement with the Assumption Sisters of Nairobi on the ownership of St. Mary's Mission Hospital. The association also singles out the priest as the man who collected the funds for the construction of St. Mary's Mission Hospital. The Catholic nuns through the Assumption Sisters of Nairobi have a different story. The sisters say they are the ones who put in almost 5 million shillings as seed money for the hospital project. Sisters say they also saw to it that enough funds were collected from donors and the Catholic priest had no role at all in the ownership of the hospitals. But the leaders seen contracts signed between Father Bill Friday and the contractors who built the twin hospitals in Nairobi and in Elementaita. The war of words over who owns the hospitals has had other men of the cloth question the intention of the Catholic nuns and the role of the head of the Catholic Church. In Kenya, Cardinal John Jue, Colin Davis, the Bishop of Ngong, in a letter to fellow bishops says it was Father Friday who acquired the land, built the hospitals and staffed them.
Say he had over-trusted them because he is the one who instructed me, who told me to have it registered in their name. But then when this problem now started in 09, I went to them and told them no, this is not right. I have 2 children. The firstborn is St. Mary, the secondborn is Regina Pass's University. I told them not to do that. I advised them. I have all along tried to reconcile them. And I told them, look, you know all this donkey work has been done by this man. Why don't you leave it to him? You'll not live forever. And if you are patient and if you can wait maybe even for another 40, 50 years, he will still leave this to you. And you have time also to catch up with his idea of a mission hospital. Because his idea is, his vision of a hospital is not the same as we normally see other mission hospitals being run.
The court reached a verdict that nearly parallels operations at the 2 hospitals.
Our key objective here is to take care of patients, but now we are literally fleeing for our lives. Just a few days ago, we were sent packing and everybody went scampering in different directions. And as we are speaking, we are trying to regroup once again. So there's a lot of apprehension and the people are not, we just feel a bit insecure at the moment. So it's not been easy. It's not been easy at all.
This is KTN News.